Hi guys, this is Steve from Vintage Classics 71. This week I'm going to show you kind of a little bit of a mixed bag of baseball cards from the, most of them are from the 71 to about 1974. And I got this one other card to show you. It's a 2013 Topps Baseball, Sandy Koufax. Probably the thickest card that I own. Let me take it out of this thing, I can show you. It's actually wrapped anyways. It's a pretty thick card. I mean, it's got the Cy Young Award on it. It was an insert in packs. I just think it's, I know it's not a vintage card, but I think it's a neat card to have. I have a couple that are thick like that. But just to show you something, you know, a little bit modern but yet vintage at the same time. Hope everybody had a good weekend, Labor Day weekend. My wife and I, we had our stepdaughter and her boyfriend from San Diego here. It was great. They went back home on Tuesday. We took them to Newport, Rhode Island, and some different things. It was great seeing them. He's a big Padres fan, so I brought him down to my room downstairs, which, as you can see, I'm actually doing it upstairs this morning. Just a little bit something different. Every now and then I do it from the living room rather than my room downstairs. So, but let's get started on some cards. I'm going to start up with one that's not sports related. It's a 1950 Topps Freedom's War card that was put out. Well, it's hard to see. This one is a white phosphorus, says on it. The back of it. Had this for a long time. I think I got it from a flea market a long time ago. So that's one. Next is, I know in the last video I mentioned to you, there's always cards that bring you back to when you were a kid. And this card does, for some reason, he's a good player, but not a Hall of Famer or anything. But I'll never forget, I remember getting this in a pack of cards as a kid. Just loved the card. I don't know, it's always stuck with me all these years. It's a 1973 Topps. It's card 31 of Buddy Bell. But he says outfield on there, more notably known for third base. But he did play outfield early on in his career. Like I've told you in the past, I like the 73 set. Like I said, this is just a card that brings me back to when I was 10 years old, 1973. All right. Next up is 1973 Topps Ron Blomberg, first DH. And then we got a 1973 Cesar Geronimo, Cincinnati Reds, part of the great dynasty they had there. It's a nice action shot of Jack Broham of the Cleveland Indians. Playing second base. If I was to guess, I'd say that might be Bobby Grich trying to tag him. All right, next, Gene Mauch, Montreal Expos. Got a collection of those in an album, Montreal Expo cards, just because they don't exist anymore. So whenever I see them, I try to pick them up. I put them in an album, like I said, downstairs. I've got about 8 albums full of Red Sox cards. Anybody that ever played for the Red Sox, if I get their card, if they're not in a top load or you know, in a whatever graded, then they go in there. And I've got about I don't know, about 5,000 Red Sox cards probably altogether. Next is 1973 Topps Reggie Smith. That's a 70s hairstyle right there for you. Reggie was a great ball player. Didn't stay a long time in Boston. I want to say I don't know, 6 years maybe. But went on to have a great career out in other places. Next is a Hall of Famer. It's Rich Gossage from the White Sox. Nice action shot also. When the White Sox used to wear white, red, and gray. Back of the 74s. Then we got the 74 Pittsburgh Pirates team card there. Next up, you got Dave King Kong Kingman, This is a weird card because if you look at the background of the fans behind him, it's almost ghostly looking. And someone brought this up one time, and I started looking at it. I was like, you know what? They're right. The way the faces are distorted and stuff. Distorted. Can't even talk this morning. Guess I got too early of a start here. But that's Dave Kingman from the Giants. As you can see, some of the faces in the background. A little different. Next is the 74 rookie infielders. You got Bill Madlock on there. Right there. Bill was a great player too. Lifetime batting average is right around 300, I want to say. He may be in one of my videos coming up someday that I'm going to plan on doing where I list guys that I think should be in the Hall of Fame and try to show cards of theirs to go along with it. So he's probably going to be one of them. Here's another 1974 Topps rookie, Ed Armbruster. If you don't know the story behind Ed Armbruster, in the '75 World Series against the Red Sox, when in my opinion, he interfered with Carlton Fisk at the plate. It wasn't called interference, although Darrell Johnson did run out and argue the point. I think to this day it was interference. In fact, my friend Dan, who I've told you about in the past, is a diehard Reds fan. We go back and forth on that. But that's Ed Armbruster's card. Here's Rick Dempsey from the Yankees. A year and a half ago, my wife and I were in Baltimore, and we ate at Dempsey's restaurant, which is owned by Rick Dempsey. Food was good. He was a good player, colorful, known for during rain delays, he would slide on the tarp head first through the water all splashing up and everything. I know he did it in Fenway Park because I was there one time. But he was a good, solid player, good catcher. Next, you got a 1974 Topps. It's the NL playoffs. Mets 3 games, the Reds 2. And that looks like Jerry Koosman pitching. It's tough. I didn't take into account the glare today. And you get the 1974 Topps, Game 1 of the '73 World Series. Oakland 2, Mets 1. That is Raleigh Fingers on the mound right there. If I turn this a little bit like this, that makes it better or worse. Here's Raleigh right there. Next up, you get the '73 World Series Game 3. And this one's Oakland 3, New York 2. And you got Campaneris. All right, then we've got '73 World Series Game 4. The Mets 6th, the A's 1. And you've got Game 5 of the '73 World Series, Mets 2, Oakland nothing. Play at the plate there. I think that's Gene Tennis catching. And then we've got A's celebrate, win 2nd consecutive championship. I like these playoff cards from that time. And we've got 74 card of Chris Chambliss, better known with the Yankees. Here he is with the Cleveland Indians. He had some good years with them. In 73, he had 11 homers, 52 RBIs. He had 273. He was a solid defensive first baseman, too. And from the Boston Red Sox, my team there. 74 Topps of Tommy Harper. Tommy had a lot of speed. Played for a number of teams in his career. He started out with the Cincinnati Reds, then he went to the Indians, then he went to the Seattle Pilots for one season, the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Boston Red Sox. He may have gone on, I think, to a couple other organizations after the Red Sox. All right, then you get the Phillies shortstop, Larry Bowa, 1974 Topps. All right, you got a '74 Topps of Gene Mauch. manager for the Montreal Expos. See if he's got anybody famous for an assistant. Well, he's got Larry Doby right here. As one of his assistants. Assistant coaches. All right, then in 74 Topps, you got J.R. Richard from the Astros. Part of the Richard and Ryan and 3 Days of Crying. Solid pitcher. Big time strikeout guy. In Boston Red Sox, 1974, Cecil Cooper. He had his better years with Milwaukee Brewers after being traded from the Red Sox. In the 74 New York Mets, Ed Kranepool. What I do with these, if you're noticing, is on the top, I actually take a Sharpie mark and I write what it is. Not for me, but so much for if someday, you know, when I'm not eventually around, our kids or whatever, I figured it might make it easy for them to identify what the cards are and stuff, and when they're looking at them. So on these particular ones, the Top Savers made by Beckett Shield, I'm able to do that because it's got that white strip. So here's the 74 John Mayberry. This is another card, like I told you, the Buddy Bell one. This is another card that makes me brings me back to when I was a kid. I can remember sitting in my garage opening packs with my friend, and there's like 3 or 4 of us who were really big into cards, and getting this card, and I just thought it was the neatest thing because of the action picture. But this is Big Bad John Mayberry, Kansas City Royals. Tell you what, as I say a lot of times, that's the beauty of collecting cards, sports cards, whether it be baseball, football, hockey, basketball. It's the memories they bring, especially the vintage ones. Brings you back to a time when you were a kid. You know, what'd you really have that you were responsible for? Not much homework. That was about it. Maybe some things around the house, helping out. But you know, you'd ride bikes in the summertime, play baseball, tackle football, shoot baskets. Street hockey up here is big, and collect cards. We'd ride our bikes. There was a little convenience store I used to go to called Delaney's in Marlboro, and on the main street. Bought a lot of cards there. Mr. Delaney, Jimmy Delaney was the owner, so knew me pretty well. I'd go in there. They were 10 cents a pack. I mean, you know, if I had a couple bucks, you could buy 15, 20 packs of cards. We'd go ride our bikes back home, and we'd open them all up together, toss the gum to this. I give the gum to my sister, and then we'd open them all up and trade with each other. You know, swap out, trying to build sets or our favorite teams, or whatever. But like I said, it's the beauty of cards. I just love love looking at them. As you get older, it's nice to go back to a time when you can remember collecting them and just having them fresh out of the pack. So here's a 1974 Topps Dave McNally for the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore always had great pitching back then. Wish I could get this so it would stop. I know I'm moving around a lot on you, I'm sorry. That's probably see it better if I held it further away, but there's Dave McNally. And from the Dodgers, you got a 74 Claude Osteen. Claude was a solid pitcher for the Dodgers. I actually got his autograph years ago. He was in for the Prince William Cannons. I was stationed at the Pentagon. I used to go to the Prince William Cannons games in Woodbridge, Virginia, and he happened to be there one time, and I got him to sign a baseball for me. Next, you got the relief pitcher from the Montreal Expos, Mike Marshall, 1974. Another nice action shot. And then you got the Hall of Famer Jim Cott, Chicago White Sox, 74. I thought it'd be something different shooting up here, but maybe it was a mistake because of the lighting. It's too much sun. All right, from the Pittsburgh Pirates, who, as you guys know, that was my National League team when I was a kid. Still like them to this day. Catcher Manny Sanguillen. Manny was best friends with Roberto Clemente, who's one of my all-time favorites. This is a nice card of him. Next up from the Oakland A's is a 74. It's Ken Holtzman wearing the all yellow, which was they didn't wear that too often. They had different combinations, but yellow shirt, yellow pants. You didn't see that too often. All right, 74 Philadelphia Phillies, Dave Cash. Dave came up with the Pirates. Good second baseman. In fact, from 69 through 73, he played for the Pirates. 74, he went to the Phillies. All right, here's a 74 of Cincinnati Reds pitcher Jack Bellingham. Nice, good pitcher. Here's a 74 of California Angels. Notice I said California. Shortstop Bobby Valentine. Colorful character, especially as a manager. He was notorious that time. He was managing. He'd been ejected from the game. He put on glasses and a fake nose. I think it had a little mustache on it. Tried to remain in the dugout. Of course, he got caught. But he was definitely a colorful guy. Managed for the Red Sox up here for a short period. Not during a good time. We didn't have a very good roster. So next from 74, you got outfielder Bobby Mercer, New York Yankees. He was a good player. Came up under a lot of pressure. A lot of people expected him to take up where Mickey Mantle left off, and as you guys can well imagine, there's not too many people that can pick up where Mantle left off. Bobby Mercer came up during the 1965 season with the Yanks, but he was a good player. All right, next is the 1970 Topps card 451. It's the Sporting News All-Star Boog Powell. Big Boog. John, her actual name is John, but really good first baseman for the Orioles. In fact, if you go to Camden Yards, as I'm sure everybody knows, if you go in the outfield, he's got a sausage, hot dog type stand. A lot of times he's there, and if you go up to him, he'll sign something for you. I missed him that time. I went to Camden Yards with my wife. I told you about 18 months ago. But I have gotten him in the past. Here's the 1970 Topps of Hall of Famer Billy Williams, Chicago Cubs. All right, then we've got a 1969 Topps card 107. It's a checklist. It's got Bob Gibson on it. Unmarked. It's not the best. It's off-centered badly on the back, especially. But being like Bob Gibson, the Hall of Famer's on there. It's a nice card to have, too. Then you got a 1965 rookie stars from the Tigers, Jim Northrup is on there. There's Northrup right here. Good outfielder for the Tigers. Back to the 65s. 65 is probably, that and 68 are probably my two favorite card sets from the 60s. Really like the 65s a lot. All right, here's a 1979 Topps, card 8. It's got two Hall of Famers, Rich Gossage and Raleigh Fingers, are leading firemen, closers today. They referred to them as firemen back then a lot, putting out fires. But two great closers right there. Raleigh with the famous handlebar mustache. Of course, he's pitching for the Padres then. Here's a 79 Topps of George the Boomer Scott. I always liked him. Played for the Red Sox and the Brewers. Passed away a few years ago. He lived in Mississippi. From what I've read and everything, he still used to watch the Red Sox on cable. Right up till he passed away. He was a solid first baseman. Like I said, the Boomer. Next is a 1979 Topps, card 420 of Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey Jr.'s father. He too was a good ball player. He gets overlooked a lot because of his son. But As of this point, he'd been in the league 6 years. He had a 309 lifetime batting average. Here's Mr. Mercer again, 1979 Topps, 130, card 135, Bobby Mercer. Now he's with the Cubs at this point. Yeah, 1979 Topps, card number 6. Strikeout leaders, you got Nolan Ryan from the American League, and you got J.R. Richard from the National League. Later on, they'd become teammates together in Houston. Those are two flamethrowers right there. And then you got a 1977 Topps, card number 1. You got George Brett and Bill Madlock, batting leaders. It's off-centered badly. But these are cards, like I said, I've had since I was a kid, and I'll never get rid of them. 1977 Topps, card 570 of Bobby Bonds. Barry Bonds' father. I'll tell you a story about Bobby Bonds. 1975, April 22nd, my first game, Fenway Park. My dad couldn't make it, so I went with the Marlboro Boys Club. They had a bus trip, and must have been a school April vacation for us here in Massachusetts. Went to the game. It was Red Sox and Yankees. Bobby was playing for the Yankees, and he had a Titanic home run. It went right over center field where the flagpole was in Fenway, if you're familiar. And being 12 years old, I was just amazed by it. First, I was amazed. It was my first time ever in Fenway Park, seeing how green it was and the green monster and everything. But the Red Sox lost that day. I believe it was 5-0. I think it was Doc Medich against Rick Wise. A lot of Hall of Famers played in that game, but I do remember Mr. Bonds' big blast, unfortunately, against us. But all right, here's a 71 Topps of card 237 of Cesar Cedeno, Houston Astros. Really tough set to get, as you guys can well imagine, as you know, because of the black border, either chipped or off-centered. But just another card to love. Here's another 71 Topps of Bobby Grich, Baltimore Orioles. This is actually his, I believe this is his rookie card. Yeah. Another guy who may come up on my list of players who should be considered for the Hall of Fame. And you got a 71 Topps, card 188, Bobby Valentine again, the character. That's him on the top right here, his rookie card. That's actually the plastic. That's nothing on the card. It looks like it's on his face, but it's the glare. All right, then 71 Topps, Ken Singleton, New York Mets. Also spent some time with Montreal, Baltimore, a couple other teams, I think. He was a good player. 1972 Topps, card 89, home run leaders. You got Willie Stargell, Hank Aaron, and Lee May. This card has a crease. You probably can't see it running across it, but again, it's been with me a long time. '72 was a colorful set. It's one of my favorites also. Here's a 72 Topps, card 17 of Dave Duncan, Oakland A's catcher. Back of the 72s. All right, 1972 Topps, card 52, Harmon Killebrew, Hall of Famer, in action. It's funny because on the back of these it says, look for special cards, 12 league leader cards, 71 World Series and playoff game cards, 12 of your favorite stars on special action cards extra. On the back is what I was reading. Boy, sometimes I wish I could go back in time when you see the things that say send in 25 cents and 3 wrappers and you can get, 10 cards of all-stars of this. Only you could go back. The last one is a 72 Topps, card 44, Rick Wise in action, pitching for the Phillies. He also pitched here in Boston too, St. Louis. A couple teams he's played for. this one's a little bit different. Look for these special cards in Series 5 and 6. 71 Trophy Award winners. Baseball's biggest trades. Advertising different sets in the higher series that were available. All right, that's about all I have for you today. Again, thank you. I didn't make one on Monday. That's why I'm doing it today on Thursday. Because, like I said, my stepdaughter and her boyfriend were here, so we're a little tied up, wasn't home. So I apologize for that. I try to make one every week. This is actually my 40th video, which is a landmark for me. I've got 270 subscribers. Never thought I'd have that many. And I appreciate every one of you guys. I get a lot of good comments and feedback, and met a lot of nice, kind, and interesting people with a lot of knowledge. I've learned quite a bit from people. Made some mistakes along the way, maybe in some of the things I identified or said that were incorrect, and I was quickly corrected, which is great, because that's how you pick up more knowledge and stuff. But you gotta love the hobby. Just keep on collecting. Like I always say to you guys, collect what you can afford. Don't chase cards that just because you think everybody else is collecting them. Collect what you really like to collect, because it's your collection. It's a reflection on what you like and of you. You know, if you enjoy the cards, like I told you, a lot of these were off-center, but they've been with me since they came out when I was a kid, so I'll never get rid of them. But it's a great hobby. It's something good if you have a son or a grandson or granddaughter or a daughter or whatever. It doesn't have to be necessarily a boy, to pass on the fun of collecting cards and trading with friends or whatever. It's a great thing. We want to continue to grow the hobby and pass it on to the next generations as they come along. I know these cards will be with me till I'm not here anymore. And then, unfortunately, the 3 kids we have, my daughter and my stepson and stepdaughter, they don't really show a lot of interest. Maybe that'll change. But as they have kids, like I have a grandson now who's 5 months old. I'm starting to groom him already by talking to him about it. And I've got a granddaughter, who, both of them really cute. She's 2. She just turned 2 on Saturday. Yeah, hopefully maybe they'll get into collecting. So, but just keep on collecting. Thanks again for watching, for supporting me, for all your great comments and everything. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And this weekend, my wife and I are actually going up to our camper up in New Hampshire, up near Hampton Beach. There's a little card shop up there. It doesn't have a lot of vintage stuff, but I may pop in there, buy a box or a few packs of newer cards, just something to open while I'm up there. All right, I'll let you know what I get. But I hope you have a great rest of your week and weekend. May God bless you and your family, and thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.